The Insomniac hack just became the biggest and worst leak in the history of gaming. I'm just going to skip the intro telling you to like and subscribe and get right into it because there is a lot to talk about and it's so bad.
This is nothing fun.
First, I want to give a shout out to Insomniac Games who are really going through it right now. People are getting so caught up in the leaks about the games, they're forgetting not only was a lot of hard work just ruined, but the hackers also stole and released very personal information of Insomniac employees, so their lives are at risk as well. We all love games, but let's not lose sight of the fact that real humans are the ones who have to make them. Now, as I previously reported, Insomniac Games was hit with a ransomware attack where the hacker group demanded money or they would release everything they stole. At the same time, they also hosted an auction for the stolen material with a starting bid of 50 Bitcoin, which is about $2 million. At the time, I told you based on what they initially leaked, you would soon probably have to start muting keywords on social media to avoid spoilers. Well, Durag Nation, that day has come. But the amount of stuff you'll have to mute to avoid spoilers is actually just crazy. You basically would have to just mute Marvel in its entirety from the internet, but don't worry, I got the best anti-spoiler method at the end of the video if you want to avoid getting spoiled now and in the future for any movie, show, or video game leak. So after 7 days, the hacker group kept their word and released most of what they had, which ended up being over 1 million files, which totaled 1.6 terabytes of data. But that was only 98% of what they stole. The rest was held back from releasing publicly because they were able to sell it directly to a buyer. But based on what ended up getting released, they got nearly everything. Employee passports and HR documents, information about Guerrilla Games and their current project. They even stole the licensing agreement between Marvel Games and Insomniac. The hackers confirmed they targeted Insomniac and Sony intentionally, not because they care about games, of course, but purely for money, and they thought a gaming company would be an easy target, which apparently it was, as according to them, it took less than 30 minutes to access the network, and the results are devastating. Everything Insomniac planned for the next 10 years has been exposed. The identity of nearly all of their upcoming games, the budgets, the targeted release years, everything. But it gets worse. Their next game, Marvel's Wolverine, was completely compromised. They didn't just walk away with concept art and screenshots, they released full gameplay and animation tests, cutscenes, the cast list, and the entire story of the game. You can't even watch the animation tests without major spoilers. There was even reportedly a playable build of the game that was leaked as well, and there are currently players attempting to make it work on their PC. If you don't want any spoilers, you would literally just have to mute everything associated with Marvel, Wolverine, the X-Men, and Spider-Man. I'm not even really exaggerating. Seriously though, the plans Insomniac had were incredible, and it's a tragedy they weren't able to reveal it on their own because the response would have been ridiculous. I honestly don't even know what Insomniac should do. This is almost unprecedented. GTA 6 had a similar leak with hackers getting access to and releasing early test footage, as well as basic information about the main characters, but that was it. They didn't leak Rockstar's entire roadmap, the cast list of GTA 6, and the entire story, and that game still ended up reportedly getting pushed back a year to a target date of 2025. With the scale of Insomniac's leak and how early out they are, Marvel's Wolverine might have to just start over, at least for the story. Fortunately, they didn't seem to get any major information about the story of the upcoming Spider-Man games Insomniac planned or the other untitled games, so those probably don't need to be reworked, but Wolverine is cooked. Literally everything is out there. Obviously, the priority is going to be making sure the employees whose data was stolen get all the help and protection they need, followed by giving Insomniac and every Sony studio a huge security upgrade so this doesn't happen again. But this is going to shake up the entire industry in the worst way, which sucks because, again, under normal circumstances, I would be so excited. If Insomniac revealed all this at a PlayStation showcase, everybody would have been losing their minds. This would have been GTA 6 for superhero fans. But I can't talk about it or be excited because the hackers stole this for money and released the personal information, including addresses of innocent employees. So I will not be showing you any of the material, I won't be promoting the stolen material, and I'll do my best to protect fans in the comment section and in the chat. But that probably won't be enough. Coincidentally though, I did a video when the Spider-Man 2 leaks dropped when I learned the best way to block spoilers while still being able to use social media. I'll talk about that in the next video on screen.